think you could tell that Jimmy pumped that up a little bit too at the end. Blackhawks hockey in high def tonight, coming your way by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Here is the goaltending matchup. 25-year-old Antti Raanta has won his last 4 starts and given up just 8 goals in those last 4 games in which he's participated. And at the other end, 26-year-old James Reimer has won his last 2 starts. You see his season-long numbers, but in the last 2 games that he started, giving up just 4 goals against. And in the game in Toronto between these teams, he was great. There is Robbie Martel paired up with Eric Furlat as the referees, the linesman John Moran, Trent Knorr. Each team had a stumble last night. The Leafs losing at home to Philadelphia, 7-4. The Hawks did get a point, but fell victim to the Columbus Blue Jackets in a long shootout as we get this one underway. Each team, though, has been really red hot in the last little while. The Hawks 10-1-1 coming in. The Leafs have lost their last 2 games, but that came in after a run of 10-1-1 that they had. Well, here's a centering attempt picked off by Oduya. We'll have plenty of time to get into the offensive zone, looking to slip in the front, and Nordstrom's shot is stopped by Reimer. Rebound to the Leafs, long feed, and Clarkson would have had a breakaway. Hawks sort of got messed up in a line change, and Clarkson well behind everybody, but the pass jumped away from him. Well, it's held into Bozak, a long shot into the glove of Raanta, holding.
Talk about Toronto, Pat, the unbelievable run that they were on. That came after a 9-2 loss at home to the Nashville Predators, and for Randy Carlyle and his team certainly turned around after that 10-1-1. Little movement there after that thrashing at home, as you mentioned. Had a tough time the last couple of games. Hawks want to force the Maple Leafs to play down at this end of the ice. It's not one of their strengths, is defending. They like to play a fast, trade chances type of game.
And Eddie, you'll remember and pointed it out a number of times when we were there. You'll remember the matchup in Toronto. It was a speed game. These teams were flying up and down the ice. There's a stuff attempt bounced up into the air, away from Bozak to Smith, and a penalty coming up here. Stick got up and clipped Tyler Bozak. They're going to see if he was caught. But the Hawks will be shorthanded at any rate.
That's Brent Seabrook making the skate over to the penalty box. It looks like it's only going to be a 2-minute penalty in front of the net. Puck took a crazy bounce to the left of Antti Raanta, and next thing you know, the puck was in front of the net. Brent Seabrook was just trying to clear the puck out from in front of the net. Unfortunately, caught Bozak, so an early power play for the visitors.
Here's the draw. Keith able to get it out of there. Now Phaneuf, the Leaf captain, cleared it ahead. Bozak trying to fight his way in on Hjalmarsson. Hjalmarsson knocked it loose, and now Phil Kessel lost control to Taves, but it's clear is held in. Long shot Phaneuf, and a save made by Raanta. Rebound Kessel, taking away Hjalmarsson. He bounced it up the boards. Took a second whack, that hit his own man, Hossa. Retrieved by Keith, they might have a 2-on-1. Here's Keith, he's got Taves with him. Keith cutting in, fires! Boy, I would have loved to see that go in. Clinton Rife was Duncan Keith's best friend. Oh, if that goes in, it's perfect.
Oh, what an opportunity for Dunk flying down that ice. The puck was rolling, he settled it down beautifully. I think he wanted to get this puck over to Jonathan Taves, Pat, initially, but he said, you know what, I'm short-handed, I'm about 25 feet out. The puck's in my wheelhouse, and the guy that looked after Duncan Keith like no other. Clint certainly was able to have his skates and his sticks ready. And, Dunk playing with a very, very heavy heart here tonight with the loss of the Blackhawks assistant equipment manager.
Leafs get the draw, and Jake Gardner with 75 left on their power play. Kadri rolled it in. Now Clarkson rolled into the corner. Nazem Kadri is checked by Johnny Oduya. Clarkson trying to pry it free. And it's cleared back to the line. Gardner up the boards. Kadri. Very skillful young player. Kadri tried to work a give and go. The second pass missed. Now Gardner takes over. He's going to look to Kadri. Gardner can't find a lane. Neither can Kadri. His hot pass didn't connect. Riley on the other side. Now Clarkson rings it around. Hawks keeping him on the perimeter at the moment on this PK. Kadri put it in behind Clarkson. Half a minute left in the penalty. Riley. Now works the give and go. Morgan Riley's wrister and a save by Raanta. He took a look, wasn't sure where to go, and was underneath him. And Oduya made sure nobody could get that close to Antti Raanta.
The Hawks were doing a really good job of really not allowing anything to happen for the Maple Leafs. Everything was out on the perimeter. Next thing you know, Riley takes a shot. Mad scramble in front of the net. Clarkson was doing a good job of battling in front of the net, and then you had Kadri coming in looking for an opportunity, and that was a terrific stop from Raanta. So I think that puck might have been deflected in midair by Kadri, and Raanta had to adjust probably, 2 feet in front of the blue paint. Outstanding stop there from Raanta.
Now Taves tried to clear. Franzen kept it in, but then Hjalmarsson followed up. He got rid of it. That will finish the Chicago penalty. Both teams are at full strength. Now Phaneuf. Hit it to Santorelli, who rolled it to center. This one dumped into the Hawk zone by Holland. Comes all the way around the boards and back the other way. Roman Polak, who did not play in the first meeting between these teams. But normally when Polak, who spent his entire career in St. Louis before coming here to Toronto, normally when the Hawks saw Polak, he was a difficult guy to play against. Sharp shot is handled by Reimer. And then Sharp got the gloves up after the whistle went as he and Holland got together. But it's all conversation for now. You may notice as the game goes along, Blackhawks players have a decal on their helmet. You see it on the right over the heart of Troy Parchment, who is Clint Wright's partner, CR. The initials of the equipment manager who passed away last night. Face-off win, Roosevelt. A flip shot tip went just wide. And now it jumped away from Kane back to center ice. And by the way, a lineup adjustment for Joel Quenneville tonight. Brad Richards out of the lineup, so the man at center on this line is the guy who just touched the puck, which is Versteeg, who chases in. He's between Sharp and Kane on this Hawks unit. Now the Leafs come away. Riley will get into the Hawk zone. Tried a shot that was blocked. David Rundblad also back in the Hawk lineup tonight, replacing Eriksson. As those are the two Hawks changes from 24 hours ago, and the whistle sounds.
I think the challenge for Kris Versteeg, Pat, on that line, centering Patrick Sharp, who gets bumped up and now on probably his most familiar and comfortable side being a right-handed shot, playing the left side for Kris Versteeg. It's playing that 200-foot game now. As a winger, you're only playing the 145, 150-foot game. But as a center iceman, you got to be helping out your defense. There's a lot more work that goes into it, working with your defense in your own zone. Kris Versteeg's played some center. He played a lot as a young hockey player, but much different at the National Hockey League level. So one thing to keep an eye on as this game materializes.
All right, Hjalmarsson will ring it around. He's hoping for Bickle on this side, but now it jumped loose. Kessel got it out. Carcillo dumped it back in there. Polak will be challenged by Bickle. And Jake Gardner for the Leafs. And it's cleared the other way. Seabrook to the stick of Keith eventually. Duncan Keith on a -1 his last 3 starts now. Here comes the captain. Toews gets the line for Hossa. He had his shot blocked, and it's tipped up way over the glass out of play.
Well, fans, don't miss your chance to catch all the exciting Blackhawks action from in between the player benches. Bid on the CME Group seats through the online CME Group Seats auction. For more info, visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com.
Toews in for the draw, has 5 points his last 3 starts. 4 of those are assists. He pulls this back to Keith. The long shot is blocked. Franzen cleared it back the other way. Carson gets in on Keith. He put it around the boards. Phaneuf kept it in. David Clarkson. Oh, a big jolt from Seabrook. Now they collide again into the corner. 4 men dueling. You listen to the referee. You're not going to get a whistle. Got to move it, boys. Here's Franzen with a long shot. Runs a good save in traffic with the left pad. Rebound to the Hawks, and out comes Hossa. Marian Hossa, they say he was short of center when he dumped it, but the goalie Reimer came out to play it, so no icing. Here's Hjalmarsson. Works his way in deep, tries to drive the net, but forced to turn. Saad takes over. And then Saad got help from Hossa. He had his stick knocked out of his hands. Oduya flipped a long one wide. Bozak got it out of there on the backhand.
A little battle behind the play there between Phaneuf and Hossa.
Now Kane gets into the offensive zone, pulls up. Patrick Kane will drop it. Throws it all down to Versteeg. He tried to touch it to the front of the net. It didn't get the right hop. And Peter Holland needs help to get it out for the Leafs. Toronto's had a good year up till now, especially because of that hot streak, but they're 8 games over 500, but almost all of that has been at home. This is incredible that they've only played 11 road games up till now. So for the Leafs, tonight begins a 7-game road trip. They go play 2 at home. Then they got 4 more on the road. So 11 of the next 13 games are going to get a little bit, maybe a better look at what the Leaf team is all about, because their record mostly has been achieved on home ice.
It'll probably dictate where they are at the end of the year, whether they're inside or outside of the playoffs.
Santorelli rolled it to the corner. Now he chased in behind. Santorelli tried to get it in front, could not. Kane clears it back to center. Gardner there for the Maple Leafs. And now the Hawks run Blad for Bickle. Hawks able to send it in. And the Leafs, Richard Panik left it to Roman Polak. They try a long stretch pass. It's touched ahead. Kadri wrister, glove save by Ranta, and he holds on. We played 9 minutes scoreless in the opening period tonight.
Well, the injury report is sponsored by Illinois Bone and Joint Institute, and good to see Trevor Van Riemsdyk traveling on that last road trip, Pat, out to New Jersey. Got a chance to get home, and it'll be a period of time before we see TVR, but we're able to see his older brother, JVR, who has turned into one terrific hockey player with the Toronto Maple Leafs, coming over in a trade from the Philadelphia Flyers. And you talk about a power forward, he's one of those type of guys that can get up and down the ice and put the puck in the back of the net.
Gardner looking for a lane, lets it go. That never got all the way to the net. Picked up by Shaw. Able to clear it. Jake Gardner over to Roman Polak, who steps into the zone. Pass intended for Panik. Good read there, though, by Rundblad. He triggers ahead for Carcillo. And Carcillo's backhander missed the net. Taken by Panik. Then taken away by Bickle. Ryan Bickle walks in front trying to snap it off. Instead he goes to Rundblad with a long shot. Glove save Reimer, and he holds it.
Nice job there from Bickle. Not just throwing the puck away without getting any kind of support. Circled the wagons, got the puck back to the point. I'd like to see the Hawks get some more people in front of the net. Haven't had a lot of opportunities to get the puck there. You see Shaw there. Gonna try to get in the vision of the Maple Leaf goaltender, James Reimer.
Reimer, who, as we mentioned, played really well in the game in Toronto. The Hawks in that game outshot the Leafs in the third period alone. They outshot him 26-7. Reimer makes a save on a do-you. Rebound came back to him, right through him, but not over the line. It's back into the blue paint. And Reimer, who I don't think knew where that puck was for the last 6 or 7 seconds of the action, it wound up back underneath him. He was good early. He was lucky late in that sequence.
Yeah, this was off a broken play here, Pat. Nobody came out to Johnny Oduya. Takes this shot. Brandon Saad is there. He gets a stick on it, and then it comes right to Jonathan Toews. Looks like it's going in, and it ends up, I don't know if it hits the far post in behind James Reimer. Should get a real good look at it here, and then all of a sudden, Hossa throws his puck back to the front of the net. No, it never even hit the post. It looked like it went the near post maybe, but ended up going out to the far side, Pat, and then Hossa shot the puck back into Reimer, trying to bounce it in off the goaltender. I don't think Reimer ever realized that he had the puck.
Just to finish off that third period, the Hawks played in Toronto. They outshot the Leafs 26-7 in period 3, and they lost the period 1-0. And now Reimer's lost his stick in the commotion. Saad to the middle for Hossa with a shot. Reimer the save, and able to control it without any lumber.
Now we're going to go back to that play, as you pointed out. Hit the near post, goes all the way out, and there's Marian Hossa. Watch what he does. He just throws it to the front of the net. And Reimer has no idea, and then the puck eventually will work itself out. He's, you know, I mean, he just drops the puck there. Just never know when a goaltender's in desperation mode how he's going to turn or what part of his body's going to be there. And as a player, you just throw it back to the front of the net, just hoping it can take a fortunate bounce. It should be icing against the Leafs. A good shift for that line, though. A real good positive shift. Probably the best shift of the game, Pat, to this point for the home team. That last little sequence for the Toews line.
Yeah, so let's see if they can build off of that as now the Versteeg line steps on, which Versteeg in the middle of Kane and Sharp. Chris Versteeg, sorry, in his last 7 games got 2 assists after a real hot streak. He had 8 points in 4 games before that. But of late, the production has slowed down. Here's a long wrist shot, sticked away by Runta, and it's out of play. We're halfway through the first period, still scoreless in the UC.
Well, Hawk fans, don't forget to visit the WGN Sports Game Zone, powered by 4 Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. Go to WGNTV.com and click on the WGN Sports Game Zone, brought to you by 4 Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. Call now for a free estimate for all the right reasons for seasons.
Toews on for the defensive zone draw against Kadri, who wins it. And now the Leafs, Riley lines it down low. Phil Kessel, leave it to Nazem Kadri. Looks back to Kessel, quick shot, hit the stick of his own man Winnick in front. And the Hawks managed to bounce it out. In the mindset, Eddie, I mean, is Kessel kind of a guy that reminds you of Sharp? You always talk about Patrick Sharp. Shoot first, ask questions later. Yeah, right. He's kind of the same kind of guy.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, he can really release the puck too, Pat, as one of the officials goes for Rob Martel. Loses an edge there, but I mean, yeah, Kessel is one of those guys, Pat. I mean, he has tremendous speed. He's become a dynamic goal scorer since leaving the Boston Bruins, and We've seen that before with the Boston Bruins guy by the name of Tyler Seguin now in Dallas, but Kessel's developed into one of the purer goal scorers in the entire National Hockey League. No question about it. And yes, he's thinking shoot first.
Centering pass for Taves, whose shot hit a leg. Keith, a good keep. Taves up the middle center, quick shot. Good save, Reimer on Saad. Best scoring chance of the game for the Hawks, and Saad's bid denied by Reimer. Now here's a pass for Sharp. He drives to the backhand with a short side save made by Reimer.
Nice pass there from Versteeg. Good communication too, Pat. I think I kind of picked it up on our audio where Sharp was yelling for that puck, and just a little area pass there from Versteeg to Sharp to create that backhand.
Here comes Kane now. Patrick Kane. They try to buy a little time. Roll it in deep. Gardner took it away. And then Sharp took it back. Centered to Kane. Shooting. Good save by Reimer. Great chance for Kane. Set up by Sharp. But Reimer with the right pad.
Well, Chris Versteeg talked about that beautiful pass in the middle of the ice, Pat. There he is, little backhand pass right between the legs of Cody Franzen, and Sharp creates the chance. Forehand, backhand, just great communication there from Sharp to Versteeg to let him know that he was open. And as you said, Pat, Sharp to Kane, nice pass. And look at Reimer looking over that right pad to see where that puck was not sure. A couple of real nice plays on the passing end for the Hawks.
All right, now the Leafs Booth cleared it into the Chicago end. Smith tried to throw it in front. The pass deflected in behind. Rundblad with a wind around. It's held in. O'Reilly missed it. Now Carcillo trying to chase it down. Getting across is Holzer. Now Carcillo threw it back to Rundblad. And again, David Rundblad, the right-hand shot playing on the left side in this pairing with Rosabal. Not an easy task. Last time Rundblad played, though, here's a long shot. Hit some traffic in front. David Rundblad's only played one of the last 7 games for the Hawks, but in that game he was on the ice for 16 minutes, which was his season high. Oh, a turnover. Here's Van Riemsdyk. Good thing for Roosevelt. He recovered. He turned it over, then managed to make the shot block and save a headache against a dangerous goal scorer.
Yeah, Roosevelt trying to get a little bit too fine through the middle of the ice. And one thing I love there, Pat, is Roosevelt was making the change. Duncan Keith went over and just tapped him on the pads. Obviously, he knows he made the mistake with the giveaway, but he didn't give up on the play. And to your point, got his stick in the way, and no harm, no foul. But, you know, you like the leadership there at Duncan Keith of recognizing Michael Roosevelt's play.
Now Hawks try to dig it out of the corner, but pass broken up, and the Leafs will dump it in. Seabrook, a pinching Gardner got to the corner, threw it in behind. Clarkson looking for Van Riemsdyk. He spins it back. Gardner's long shot never got through. Now it's cleared in behind. Clarkson tried to center, that missed everybody. And Pollock will have to chase back. Now Franzen rolled it up the boards. This is held in by Oduya. Winnick and Saad get together. Winnick won the puck, and now a lead pass. Kessel was trying to break away, but the pass didn't connect with him. Oh, it's cleared in behind. Kessel there against Hjalmarsson. Phil Kessel moves in front. Quick snapshot deflected high into the air. And it comes down to the Leafs. Winnick in the corner. Daniel Winnick let his pass deflect all the way back the other way. Now Winnick taken away by Sharp. And it's picked up by Rundblad. 5 minutes to go now in the first period. With the game still scoreless at the moment. I think at this point a slight edge in scoring chance of the Hawks. Have had a few pretty good ones the last couple of minutes. Rundblad tries for another one. He scores! David Rundblad set up by Patrick Kane, a long bomb, and it's a 1-0 Hawks lead.
Well, the last 7-8 minutes from our Honda goal replay, you just had a feeling the Hawks were going to find the back of the net, but how about the screen in front of the net, Pat? Look at Patrick Sharp right in front of James Reimer. And something we talked about, 7-8 minutes ago? Getting some chances, but got to get somebody willing to go to the front of the net, get inside the dots, play in front of the net. And the line of Versteeg, Sharp, and Kane set up David Rundblad, and that puck just exploded off the stick of Rundblad. Hard shot, net front presence, and the Hawks with a big goal as they lead 1-0 over the Maple Leafs.
Just a second goal ever scored by David Rundblad in his career, his first as a Blackhawk. He wants to look, he's looking up at the scoreboard to see how good did it really look. But Mike Kitchen leaning over his shoulder to give him a little kudo. All right, now it's cleared back into the Hawks zone. Booth will be met by Seabrook. He rolled it back. Gardner, a long shot. Hit the glass in behind.
The puck was on edge. That's why Gardner wasn't able to get a better shot.
Now panic. And there's part of that 200-foot game that he was talking about with the centerman Versteeg getting all the way down to the corner to give his support defensively. Now it's picked up by Seabrook. He's checked. Leafs able to keep it in, but a good stick from Versteeg. Knocked it back to center ice.
Blackhawk goal is first for the Chicago Blackhawks. Scorer number 5.
Now Ben Smith gave it to Johnny Oduya. And Tyler Bozak up the boards. Van Riemsdyk cleared it to center ice. Good stick by Kruger with a takeaway. Here comes Nordstrom. Back to Kruger. He looks to Smith. Quick shot. He fired it wide. Rebound in behind. Now picked up by the Leafs. Bozak. He moved it out to center ice. Riley's up on the play. Morgan Riley's wrister missed the target. In behind is Clarkson for Riley. Lines it around the boards. Oduya there. And it's cleared back to the neutral area. Rosabal looks for Saad. Then Oduya. Brandon Saad chipped it. Here comes Hossa. Dropped it. Saad shot it. Oh, a good block out in front by Kadri. Rebound held in Rosabal. Back of the goal is Taves. Trying to spin it in front. Picked off Kessel. And now the Leafs are able to get out, winning. With a pass well behind Kadri. Down to 2 minutes remaining in period 1. No! Winnick's pass deflected. Taves. He'll clear it over to the right side. Here comes Hossa into the zone. His shot hit a leg out in front. And it's cleared to center. Carcillo for Bickle into the zone. Checked by Fanon. The centering pass Carcillo is picked off. Lupul bounce it back the other way.
Good back pressure there from Shaw.
Now Joffrey Lupul dumped it in. Ronta turned it over. There's Santorelli. Mike Santarelli, a real good add to this Leaf team. He works a give and go. Now his pass deflected over to the corner. Final minute now of period 1. Bickle separates his man from the puck and was able to get it out. Now Lupul the other way. 3-on-3 into the zone. Lupul works his way in deep. Gardner a good keep. A long wrist shot. Oh, that just seemed to hit Raanta in some traffic, but he's in the right spot. And the Hawks able to get it out of there.
Gardner's had a real good first period. Pat, he's kept a couple pucks alive and created a couple of chances from the back end. That was a real good opportunity.
And Riemsdyk couldn't pick it up off the boards. Hjalmarsson to the other side. Sharp is able to hack it back the other way. Kane chasing it down. Time running out. Kane cuts in, centered it. Here's Versteeg. He scores! No time on the clock, but the red light is on. This is going to go to video review. It appears the Hawks have taken a 2-0 lead, but the War Room in Toronto will make that call when they superimpose the time over the picture.
Well, what a move, what a play by Patrick Kane. And as Kane made this pass, Pat, there's the shot. Time on the clock. Well, 0.3, 0.4. But what a pickup, what a release by Kris Versteeg. And this line has got both goals in this first period. But what a pickup, though. And our Honda goal replay shows us left skate to stick, top shelf on Reimer. Right part of your screen, the puck will come in. Crossing the line at 0.4 seconds.
So Kris Versteeg is, it would appear, moments away from his 9th goal of the year. They have to put the puck in play, and that'll finish the opening period. That happens, and the Blackhawks take a 2-0 lead into the opening intermission tonight. So a real good finish to the period for the Blackhawks, who had a big edge of the play in the last 10 minutes of the opening frame. Goals from Rundblad and Versteeg take him to a 2-0 lead at the end of 1. All right, Dan and Steve, appreciate that very much.
And for all you young hockey players out there, that is a wood stick, I believe, that Steve Conroy was using back in the day. And we all know that, yes, wood is good. Well, the Blackhawks' second period is brought to you by MB Financial Bank. MB means business.
All right, Jonathan Toews will open up against Kadri for Toronto. As we embark upon the second period. And the Leafs get control. Phaneuf rolled it out to center. Franzen, bank pass, picked off by Oduya. Held in Phaneuf. Oh, he thought he held it in, not quite. Says the linesman right there, Jean Morin.
Well, as the boys were talking about in the intermission, Pat, a real good finish the last 10 minutes. And a goal by David Rundblad generated with the Versteeg, Kane, and Sharp line. And then practically with no time remaining in that first period, Kris Versteeg puts the puck in the back of the net after a great reception off the play from Patrick Kane. Skate to stick and top shelf on Reimer.
Hjalmarsson into the corner. It's batted back around, and Santarelli dropped it back. Kadri Goes across to Franzen. Winnick's feed was deflected. And Phaneuf for Toronto. That is pass deflected. Good read there by Hjalmarsson. Puck came loose here. The Leafs able to get it. Santorelli threw it in behind. Hjalmarsson with a ring around. And Pollock had to let that go as Phaneuf had not gotten off the ice for the player change. Good play there by Pollock. If he touches that puck, it's too many men on the ice, so he wisely just let it go. They've got to chase back. And now a steal made by Nordstrom. A long wrist shot, and Reimer didn't know where that had gone. Might have hit him right in the melon. And deflecting it out of play.
That's exactly where it hit him. Reimer takes off his mask, Pat, to take a look, and a shot from Nordstrom, and Reimer was looking around a little bit of a screen there as well, and makes a quick little header there, just making sure that got something on it, and good idea there from Nordstrom.
Now the draw is taken by Seabrook. Seabrook is going to drop it to Keith. There's a long pass. Kane picked it up, gets in there. Kane hangs on. Now looks to the trailing Seabrook. He couldn't get the puck settled down quickly enough to let it go. Seabrook again. Ooh, Kessel almost knocked it away. Now the lead pass for Kessel. He's going to drive the net, shooting, and he fired it wide. The rebound back to the other end. This will be retrieved by Kane. Patrick Kane checked by Riley. Now Versteeg got help from Sharp. Patrick Sharp back to Hjalmarsson. Here it comes. And a save by Reimer. Rebound to the Leafs fan. Riemsdyk able to clear it out. It was knocked down there with a high stick. The whistle goes.
Pat, I want to go back to a play a couple of minutes ago by that man right there, Nicholas Hjalmarsson from our BMO Harris Bank Telestrator. Now the Leafs have the puck right here, but I want everybody to keep an eye on the gap control by Nicholas Hjalmarsson, meaning taking away time and space through the middle of the ice. There's absolutely no time there to be able to receive a pass, and that's one thing that the Blackhawks defensemen do as well, is any unit collectively in the entire National Hockey League is have good gap control, meaning is that there's not a lot of depth in between the offensive player and their defenseman. They're not backing way in. They're not retreating and allowing those players to have time and space to make a play, and they shut off a lot of plays in the middle of the ice.
But in doing that, you're also complimenting the Hawks forward. They can't do that if the forwards are not back properly.
Yeah, and how often do you mention about the back checking or the back pressure or tracking back? There's so many fancy words on when forwards are coming back to help the defenseman. So, I mean, it almost becomes like a sandwich, Pat. You got two pieces of bread, right? You got the D as one piece, you got the forwards as the other, and they're looking to pressure that puck carrier or the offensive player into having no options. And that's a lot of hard work. But the trust factor is there, especially defensemen, to stand up in the middle of the ice. Because you can't stand up if you don't have support.
Yeah.
And that's something that the Hawks shut off a lot of plays in this area of the ice right there.
Roosevelt made a bad pass, held in Gardner. Jake Gardner's wrist shot deflected wide. Panic picked it up. Knocked off his stick to Gardner. Looking for a lane. He goes instead to Panic, who's well covered by Carcillo. He stripped him and cleared it. Now it's taken by Bickle, but he got checked by Gardner. Still fights his way in there. Shaw did not retrieve a bouncer. Leafs misfiring a pass, but Ronstadt's come out to play this, so no icing against Toronto. And the Hawks, Bickle flipped a long wrist shot up off the glass. Taken by Joffrey Lupul. Cleared it into the Hawks zone. Clarkson stripped by Keith. And then Versteeg able to clear it to center. Cody Franzen dumped it in. Taken by Sharp. Patrick Sharp cleared it to center. Kane gets the line. Versteeg able to get away from his check of Holland, but enough got the carom, and back he comes. Kane on the back check. They both hit the deck. Now Peter Holland. Cleared it in behind. Clarkson able to dance away from a check, trying to stuff it home, and Runta got to the near post and was able to cover it up.
Boy, real good play there from David Clarkson. Made a nice move below the goal line, and all of a sudden takes his puck right to the net. Little curl and drag there around Brent Seabrook, and watch Runta just put that skate along the post, and he just does not allow Clarkson to get a second look. Good opportunity below the goal line there for the Leafs.
Well, Antti Raanta has played 7 games this year for the Hawks, and in 3 of them, he's given up nothing or 1 goal against. If he does that tonight, that's really saying something. The Toronto Maple Leafs are the highest scoring team in the league. Entering play tonight, they got 114 goals. No team has put the light on more than that. Well, the Hawks up close to them. They're at 102, 4th in the NHL, but the Leafs offense has been great this year. Here's Hjalmarsson. Down low, Taves. He's got a man in front. Oh, the good stick there by Van Riemsdyk. He tipped the puck before it arrived on the blade of Saad. Brandon Saad in for Hossa. Saad to the net. Hossa driving. Center. Taves. Puck was rolling on him. In behind. It's a jam back to Oduya. Tries a long shot. Missed the net. And Taves back to Hjalmarsson. Hossa. Got a pick to walk to the net. Good poke check by Reimer at the last moment. Gardner, oh, what a move. He passes to himself off the back of the goal to elude trouble. Now they might get out 2-on-1. Here comes Van Riemsdyk. He centered it and just failed to connect with Bozak, who was driving right up the middle. Now Ben Smith. Cleared it to Taves. In it goes. That goes Holzer for the Leafs. Up to Riley. And now the Leafs will dump it in. Rosabal was up the boards, a pinching Riley trying to keep it. Santorelli took a whack at a bouncer. It goes into Winnick. Daniel Winnick. Dropped it to Kadri, and again Winnick. Riley going backdoor. There's the pass. Here's the shot. Good save by Runta. The Leafs moved it nicely from side to side, but Runta had the answer on Riley. It's still 2-0 for the home team.
Boy, a couple of opportunities for the Maple Leafs, but Antti Raanta standing tall. One of them Winnick to Riley. One times this puck. Good quick movement, good save, no rebound given up. Pat, you made mention of play by Jake Gardner. Watch this. He's got Saad here. Here comes Taves. Bounces it off the boards confidently, chips it out into the middle of the ice, and next thing you know, it's a 2-on-1 for the Maple Leafs. Van Riemsdyk looking for Bozak, was not able to put that puck onto the ice. I mentioned Jake Gardner's name a couple of times, Brad. Yeah. He's had a real strong game. I mean, he's not an overly physical player and got a lot to learn on the back end, but he gives you a little bit of something that a lot of guys can't. He can skate, and he can create, and he can generate. I think he's developing nicely. He's a real solid player in the National Hockey League on the back end, and his younger brother happens to play hockey at Penn State, the Big Ten leading Nittany Lions. Playing hockey there. Original draft pick, his brother Max with the St. Louis Blues, a 3rd-round pick a few years ago. So all in the family for the Gardner family.
And at Penn State, who's his brother playing with?
I got a little blood in that,
all right.
Institution as well. Of course, my son Thomas is a hockey player there at Penn State, so they're off to a terrific start. Ranked for the first time nationally, made the top 20 for the first time in their very small.
They've had a couple of big upset wins, haven't they?
Yeah, they've performed really well, so good for them, and wish them the best of luck moving forward in 2015.
And once again, the proud Papa mentioned the Big Ten leading Penn State Nittany Lion ice hockey squad. Right, here's the draw. And Roosevelt will throw it deep. Polak pursued by Bickle. Well, they work along the wall. Shaw got to it against Smith. And Polak able to take it away.
Oh, what a hit there by Bickle.
Big hit by Bickle. Brian Bickle, who last night's the first time in 6 games he didn't have at least 3 hits. Here's a chance for Rundblad with a long shot. Fired it wide, puck was on edge. And into the corner it goes. Bickle to this side for Roosevelt. He drives. Roosevelt trying to get back out in front with a shot and a save. And the Leafs able to get it back. Here's Gardner. Pass deflecting, and the Hawks, Kane chasing it down at the other end. Oh, he's ridden to the corner hard. That's a big hit by, I believe, Polak, and now there's going to be a confrontation after that. Versteeg got in, but Polak, with Taves' 88, staring him right in the face. He knew the man had not turned. He was at his back facing the middle of the ice, and he got drilled.
Well, Patrick Kane going into the corner, Pat. He knows Polak's coming. The numbers are there, and he drives him hands up all the way through. And luckily, Patrick Kane did not lose his balance, Pat. And right before that, as you mentioned, Bickle give a real good hit there to Roman Polak, and that was at the end of a long shift. So again, you mentioned it, the teaching point there for all you young hockey players out there. And we'll get a chance to show that same look, that hit from Polak on Kane. That you see somebody's numbers or their nameplate like that, you can't hit them. You got to get your stick down. You got to live to fight another day. Play the puck. You can't use your arms and shove it into the center of the back of that player, because he has no chance, none whatsoever, of protecting himself.
And when you do show us that again, I want everybody to pay attention to Kane's reaction right after that. Versteeg was going to jump in, and Kane said, hang on, we're going to get a power play. Here come the Leafs. Bozak taking a look, snapped it off, and the redirect went up high from Winnick. So the boarding call for Winnick as the Hawks have a man advantage. Here's Versteeg with a ring around. Taves on the other side. For Kane down low, he'll spin it back to Sharp. Kane looks across. There's Keith with a long blast. Reimer the save, gave a rebound. Taves, another save by Reimer. And he's able to locate that one.
Good opportunity there, net front presence. Great save there from Reimer off the stick of Jonathan Taves. Pat, we're going to go back to the hit. Now, the stick on the ice should be in this area here. But watch what ends up happening. The hands come up, and watch how dangerous of a hit this becomes. We're going to roll it. Right there. I mean, that's a push. It doesn't have to be a real violent push. All it has to do is just throw that player off balance. You see his numbers. And Kane's able to skate away, and a great pickup by you too, Pat, there to mention the, Kane getting in there and letting Versteeg not to, take a penalty, because he knew that they were going to get a power play on that. So again, teaching point, you got to just play the puck there and not push that guy, because it becomes a dangerous play.
Saad's wrister hit traffic in front. Holland to Bozak getting it out. Just under a minute for the Hawks power play.
Pat, I mean, over the years, I've made the suggestion that, maybe USA Hockey and Hockey Canada in general is that maybe we're getting to a point that, body checking, I believe, has become a lost art. I think the technique of body checking at the younger levels has gone right out the window. Everybody leads with their stick up, their arms up, elbows up. Maybe it comes a point, and I made the suggestion, hey, you know what, maybe you got to start saying, no, if you're going to make contact with somebody, your hands must be below your waist. It forces you to hit with your shoulder. It keeps your hands down. You're not going to have head contact with elbows and sticks coming up and hitting players up. And look, it is about technique. Polak's going in. He's supposed to finish his check there, but you got to recognize that that's not a time and a place to go ahead and drive your forearm in the center of a back, that guy that's facing the board. So again, the idea and the mindset is that, look, get your hands down. If your
now
hands,
watch Kane here. Versteeg comes in.
Yeah,
Hey, we're going to get a power.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
So, I mean, the presence of mind after taking a hit, absorbing the hit, of recognizing that that's not a time and a place to go ahead and get, even, so to speak. But again, Pat, I'm a big believer of that. Is you teach young hockey players the right way to deliver a body check. The game is still hard, still tough to play, still tough, but it becomes a lot safer.
Kane centered it. Taves. Oh, he was hoping for Versteeg's stick and just missed it on the redirect. Back come the Leafs. Santorelli gets in, and offside they went. David Booth jumped the gun. That could have been an odd man rush for Toronto, and Booth a little anxious. Oh, we have a second here, so the Hawks have power play negated by the Maple Leafs, but we have a quick second. We had a wonderful first intermission night because the good folks from the Levy restaurant stopped by. Our Booth, Reto, and Vincent dropped by some very tasty morsels, and that might be the best first intermission we've ever had. So thanks to those guys. Yes. We appreciate them coming by.
Absolutely. Always take real good care of us. And
here's a quick shot off a no-do-ya turnover. And Raanta managed to make a close-in save. When these teams played in Toronto, it was not a good night for Johnny Oduya. He was -2 in the game and was on for the game-tying and the game-winning goals the second half of that game. So had a little problem in this particular sequence, although not had that many difficulties so far this evening. Halfway through period 2, it's a 2-0 Blackhawks lead, and Hawks have given up only 12 shots to the Leafs in the first half of the game.
One of the reasons that Randy Carlyle's changed his lines up here, Pat, he's loaded up his 3 best offensive players on the same line.
Nordstrom, a wrister, missed the net, held in by Hjalmarsson. He rings it around. And then Van Riemsdyk for Toronto now floats it ahead. They might get a break here. A chance for Kessel. He shoots. Missed the net. The best chances Phil Kessel has had tonight. He's missed the target. At least the last 2 of them he did. Now he chipped it ahead. Bozek could not retrieve a bouncer. Then a lead pass. Just failed to connect with Carcillo. So the team's kind of trading touchdown pass opportunities, or a chance, I should say. Santorelli stripped of it by Shaw. Carcillo couldn't get it out. Raanta plays to Keith.
I think we know the Hawks don't mind playing that way, Pat, because they have the offensive power to do it, but I think it certainly plays into the hands of the Leafs. They like to play that type of game.
Carcillo trying to get it to the middle. That pass deflected. And now picked up by Riley to Winnick. Kadri touched it ahead. Nazem Kadri looks to center. It goes back to the line. Quick shot. Gardner, and a blocker stop made by Raanta. Rebound Gardner, put it across. Riley held it in. Gardner shot it. Tip. Goalpost. Rebound. Off a redirect. The Leafs came within an inch or 2 of getting on the board. As the Hawks put it back down, they're going to be icing Chicago. So a couple of very near misses for Toronto of late.
Well, the guy right in the middle of it is 51 white, Pat, Jake Gardner. You keep talking about him, and he's been right in the middle of everything for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Defensively, offensively, net front presence, redirect in front of Antti Raanta. Looked like it might have went off of Santorelli. Had Daniel Winnick in front of the net as well. So a mad scramble in front of the Blackhawk netminder.
Now Lupo dug it out of the corner. Olak put it back around the boards. Seabrook, good pass ahead to Bickle. And a bouncer handled carefully by Reimer. Well, the Blackhawks with a 2-goal lead. The Leafs trying to generate a little bit here in period 2. Came this close to getting on the board, but they're still down a pair.
Well, fans, don't forget to check out the Blackhawks blog at WGNTV.com. The blog is brought to you by Jeff Vukovich, your local nationwide insurance agent serving the area for 36 years. To join the nation, contact Jeff at jeffvuk.com. And remember, nationwide is on your side. Well, that's a floppy hat right there. That's do a little fishing on that one there, partner. Put a couple lures in that.
Put all your lures.
Yeah, you
on
could.
that
Yeah, I don't know if you'd be able to see though, but.
Sharp won a draw. His pass deflected to Versteeg. And now the Leafs try to start back. Booth stepped into the zone. The Booth got checked by Versteeg, and Kane picked it up. Franzen gets back. Goes up the boards, and there's Booth again. He's able to bang it deep. Taken by Rundblad. David Rundblad has his first ever Blackhawks goal tonight. Hammers this to center. Leafs get back in. Down low is Clarkson. Helped by Holland. Peter Holland dropped it back. Gardner. Then Riley along. Wrist shot deflected up high. Picked up by Rundblad, and he bounced it out of there. Sharp looking to steal. He did. Lines it around. Gardner trickled it back to center ice. Funny hop in front. Here's Kruger right in. He stick handled and couldn't lift it. He got the goalie down. Could not lift it over the pad of the backhander. With Reimer down and seemingly out, but the save still made.
Pat, how often do we talk about it for goaltenders? When the puck is up in the glass, you stay home. And for James Reimer, if he does and tries to help out his defense, the puck ends up in the back of the net. Puck is shot in, takes a crazy care of him, and there's Marcus Kruger. He's got a rolling puck first off. That didn't help his cause at all. He saw Polak coming from his left, tried to go back to his right, not able to elevate that puck. But a big time save there from James Reimer.
Now Van Riemsdyk throws it in. O'Duya goes around the boards. Here's Hossa. And that's going to be ruled an offside play with 6 minutes remaining in the second period. Blackhawk goes from Rundblad and Versteeg have him in front.
Well, let's take a look at our forward upcoming schedule, and hard to believe, but only one game remaining before the Christmas break. Hawks will take on the much improved Winnipeg Jets here on Tuesday night. And then after the Christmas holiday, the Hawks will head to Denver to take on the Avalanche on the 27th of December. And then the last home game here in 2014 against the high-flying Nashville Predators, who put up 6 goals last night, partner, against the Minnesota Wild in a wild game, literally a 6-5 overtime win.
Blackhawks coming into the game tonight with a 1-point lead in their division. Or excuse me, 1-point lead over St. Louis, 2 over Nashville, but the Predators have 2 games in hand. We'll take a look at the situation entering the action tonight. Neither Nashville nor St. Louis is playing this evening. Here's the draw. Kadri could not get it in there. Taves looks towards side. He's got Hossa with him. Oh, the drop pass was behind him. And the Leafs the other way. Winnick. Kadri with a wrister. And a blocker save made by Ranta.
Yeah, that's one of those where Saad thought Hossa was zigging and zagging.
Long shot Franzen. That was fired wide. Saad the other way. And inside his last 6 games, 1 goal, 1 assist. He got stripped of it here. And Kadri couldn't get away from Hjalmarsson either. Smith into the zone, tees it up, trying to center, just out of the reach of Kruger. Now Seabrook. And Gardner for Toronto. His pass is picked off. Keith. Put it to the boards. Smith got there. Then Smith. Red hot of late. Put it back to Keith. Then Seabrook. A long clip shot. Save Reimer. And he holds on. Mentioning Smith in the last 5 games. 3 goals, 2 assists for the Hawks. Specialist, mostly a winger, sometimes a centerman. But in the last 5 games, a +4 for 28 red to go along with his 3 goals, 2 assists. So a nice run offensively for Smith.
Yeah, the big goal last night, Pat, the tying goal to get the Hawks that point into the opportunity to get to overtime into the shootout. Also that nice little run there on that road trip when the Hawks were in Boston and Long Island and take on the Islanders back-to-back. That fourth line was on the ice for 3 goals, 4. Ben Smith right in the middle of everything good on that line and continues. Oh, a good stop there from Reimer off a kind of a broken play off the face-off. Continue to talk about Ben Smith and how he has evolved as a player with more opportunity, Pat, and the specialty teams. And he was a guy not long ago was, say it a lot, is that, some guys' bungee cord is a little longer than others. I mean, at one time, not that long ago, Ben Smith's bungee cord was very short, and he's worked himself into having a little bit of a longer leash, and the trust factor that Joel Quenneville and the staff have in him and playing him in a lot of different situations, any position, that speaks to the character of a guy like Ben Smith, because it hasn't been easy for him for sure.
Here's a tip by Sharp and a good save, Reimer, and then Versteeg tried to pry it loose. Reimer wasn't particularly fond of that, but Sharp, who's already got 2 assists in the game, almost added a 3rd point here.
He's all by himself, Pat. He's standing all by himself. Duncan Keith did a good job of settling down that puck and just firing it at the front of the net, and Sharp was there, and then Versteeg came in and a little bit of a whack on the back of the hand of James Reimer. It was accidentally on purpose, one of those where you knew the whistle was going to go, but you're going to try to plead your case to the official.
Long pass for Bozek, who spins. And his pass is taken away by Saad. Taves looking back to Hossa, then Saad into the zone. Drops it to Hjalmarsson. Fires a long shot that goes up high. Bouncing to Kessel. And Gardner's up on the play, gaining the line. Van Riemsdyk, a wrister, hit a hawk leg of O'Dowie and bounce wide. Hossa turns this one over. Oh, and then Gardner had a jump free. Might be a 2-on-1. Taves has Saad with him. Taves shooting. Save. Reimer got a tiny piece with the glove. And back comes James Van Riemsdyk with a dump in. 3 minutes remain in period 2. Blackhawks lead by a pair. Franzen able to clear it to center ice. Winnick into the zone. Offside with Santorelli for the stoppage.
Well, you still have time to exercise your right to vote. Cast your vote for Jonathan Taves, Patrick Kane, Patrick Sharp, Duncan Keith, Brent Seabrook, and Corey Crawford. Every ballot you cast is another chance for you to win a trip to the NHL All-Star Weekend in Columbus, Ohio. Visit NHL.com/vote and vote tonight.
So you're getting on your Raspberry to do that? Is that?
Very nice. I got a new one, so I'm pretty happy that everything is working.
Attaboy. Panic. Rolled it loose to center. Now Riley, the D-man, goes down low. Picked off by Versteeg. And out comes Roosevelt. Looking for Sharp. He got checked at the blue line. Now the Leafs, Holzer. Rundblad got to it. Needs some help from Versteeg, who sends a good pass to Kane. Patrick Kane's got the line. Kane to the backhand shooting, and a blocker save by Reimer. Rebound to the Leafs. Smith, he cleared it to center. Clarkson gets the line. Hjalmarsson with a good stick. Knocked it loose. Oduya. A long bank pass is picked off by Gardner. Well, the Leafs will dump it in. Minute and a half remaining in the second. Now it's dropped back to Gardner. Fires a long shot. That hit Oduya in front. Gardner kept it in nicely. Here's a centering attempt from Lupo that is picked off. And Bickle got out with it. Now Gardner.
1 minute remaining in the period. 1 minute.
As Hjalmarsson takes a look. Banked it back into Leaf territory. 45 for the Toronto, or for the second period, I should say. As it's dumped into Chicago ice. Back comes Nordstrom. And trying to pass it to himself. Good cut across by Riley. Nordstrom, though, got it back. In deep for Kruger. Battles toward the front. Kruger back to Seabrook. Now Smith in behind. Smith came out in front with a whack and a save by Reimer. Rebound. Reimer, a good save on that second bid. And this Blackhawks fourth line has had a couple of real solid second period shifts of late.
Boy, terrific work below the goal line. Puck will find its way to the front of the net. Ben Smith with a great chance. Watch Marcus Kruger goes to the front of the net, and then Nordstrom with an opportunity on the backhand. But it all started because of the hustle by Kruger and Nordstrom. Good support. And the Hawks create two quality chances in the last 25 seconds of this second period.
Saad down to 5. The centering pass is kicked away by Reimer. Hossa from the corner, threw it in front. Here's a whack that didn't get all the way to the net. It didn't appear, and the second period has ended. The Toronto Maple Leafs got 9 shots in the second period. The Blackhawks had 15. And through 2, it's a 27-16 favoring Chicago. No scoring in the second period. Ranta tested a couple of times in the first half of the frame. A good second 10 minutes for the Blackhawks, who lead by 2 at the end of 2. Danny and Steve, thanks very much. And I don't think there is any doubt that the last point that Steve Conroy just made in his keys, you can bet your final nickel that point was brought up in this second intermission, where the players and coaches reminded one another they want to make this a special night. They want to make it a 2-point night, and that's why. That CR that's on everybody's helmet, and everybody's somewhere everybody has that as part of their equipment. After the tragic and sudden loss of a much beloved member of the Blackhawks family. Hard underway in the third as the puck is cleared around the boards in the Leaf zone. Bounced away from Keith, back to Seabrook. And now the Leafs dump it in. Winning. Couldn't quite catch up with it. Santorelli to Bozak. He goes across. Here's a long shot. That got to the front of that. Oh, and a point-blank save as all of a sudden the puck wound up on Santorelli's stick. I think it surprised him, but he fired quickly. Rana beat him.
Yeah, Holzer with the shot from the blue line, and the battle in front of net with the rebound. 2 Leafs to only 1 Blackhawk, and that's Duncan Keith. And Santorelli just not able to elevate that puck a little bit higher, but just great tracking of the puck there from Antti Ranta. Quality chance. And the last, what would you say, Pat? last 8 to 10 minutes of that second period, Leafs have kind of found another gear, and they've been, playing a little bit more offensive, and have taken the play to the Hawks a little bit, and have certainly continued where they left off in that second period as far as the offensive part of the game.
I would imagine that for them, Eddie, in 40 minutes of play, for them to only have 18 shots, I'm not sure that's happened to them a lot this year. We told you this is an offensive club that leads the league in goals coming in. Hawks have been able to slam the door shut in most occasions tonight. Raanta has to make a couple of big saves, which he has. He'll look at Kessel here and kick it right back in the middle, where it's retrieved eventually by Saad. And inside into the zone, Hossa going to ring it around. Saad is in behind. Keith got up on the play, but he was checked right away. Saad going to get it to Keith, but his pass stolen by Bozak. Tyler Bozak back into the Hawk zone. The centering attempt wound up right to Raanta. He had it jammed away, and it's taken by Kane. Put it down in Toronto ice. Polak bounced it out of there.
Just off enough leave the Maple Leaf bench.
Here's the shot in the glove of Raanta. Off the stick of Lupol, and Leafs keep it in. Here's a shot. Holland missed the net. Keith looks to Sharp, who absorbed some contact, and then got help to get it out. Kane gets into the lead zone on Gardner, cuts in, shooting. Tried to go high glove, missed the net. Now Rundblad. To center ice. Picked up now by Shaw, who chipped it in. Bickle chasing in on Riley. Morgan Riley came up with a puck, and now the Leafs. Clarkson put it into the zone. Kadri looks to drive. Good stick there. Rundblad, who rode into the corner. Picked up by Shaw. Now it's taken by Shaw from the corner. Looks to center. It deflects to Riley. And back comes Bickle into the zone. His long wrister kicked away by Reimer. And then the Leafs, Franzen rolled it out to center ice. Now Gardner. Around the stick of Franzen. Then it's dumped in. Gardner in on Oduya. Cleared around the boards. Hossa missed it. Kessel did not. His centering attempt did not connect. And Raanta will take a whistle.
Well, the new and expanded Blackhawks stores are now open at 333 North Michigan Avenue and at Oak Brook Center Mall. Stop in today to find the best holiday gifts for the Blackhawks fan in your life, as well as limited edition products, memorabilia, and autographed collectibles. Visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com for more information.
Here's a quick shot. Good save, Raanta, off the Leafs face-off play to Kadri. And they'll get another draw in the Chicago zone.
Pat, there's a lot of things that over the years that I haven't noticed inside this United Center. So when sometimes I'll ask you, have those windows always been over there, or has this doorway always been open? Have you noticed this new horn inside the building? Some fan, I think it has an air horn. Have you heard that at all in the last couple of games?
I've noticed it once or twice tonight, only because you pointed out, because you heard it the other night. Yeah. I didn't notice it that night, but it's like a bugle or something, it sounds like.
Chuck Mangione, I don't know. He's got a little free time on his hands.
Frank Calico's getting some competition. All right, now Santorelli. Let it jump loose. Kruger got it to the Leafs line.
Just wanted to make sure I wasn't hearing things.
In addition to all the voices in our heads, here come the Leafs. Here's a nice drag move, but Bozak couldn't get rid of an attempt. Now Santarelli. And Versteeg took it back to Keith.
He's got to start playing 200 feet away from Antti Raanta because the Leafs are coming awfully close to generating a little bit more finish in the offensive zone. The Leafs now starting to lean towards the offensive side. If you're good defensively, you're going to get a situation back the other way, opportunity.
Howland centered, quick shot, Raanta the save on Panik's one-timer. So you said it, that's the 7th shot on goal for the Leafs in the period, Eddie, and the Hawks have had 1 in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, quick developing play through the middle of the ice and easy save for Raanta. With no rebound given up, Peter Howland just drops his puck back, and there's Panik, former Tampa Bay Lightning forward. And Dion Phaneuf back on the ice. Looks like he might have had an equipment issue over the course of the last couple of minutes and not been on the ice.
Face-off win Kruger. Versteeg bounced it out. The Leafs dump it in, but the pass attempt that didn't work out, resulting in icing. Blackhawks have won their last 7 games in this rink. They come in here 11-3-1 at home, 22-9-2 overall.
Think about it, Pat. Go back to the first 14 games of the regular season. The Blackhawks were only 2 games over 500. And then went on this incredible run here the last little while. And give themselves some spacing and get in that plus column when it comes to the 1-loss column that you talk about. And you've mentioned over the years how important that is once you get down to the last 6 weeks of the regular season. Where are you when it comes to those wins and losses and regulation and overtime? How many ROWs do you have? And it comes down to one of the tiebreakers.
It's a big tiebreaker because it's the first one, but I mean, what would you think? I mean, to me, if you're looking at plus minus and where you need to be in the playoffs, is Gardner's long shot. Good save, Raanta in traffic. Gardner kept it in, handed it right to Kane. Out comes Sharp. Versteeg's up with him. Sharp goes wide. Now helped by Kane.
Penalty on Versteeg. Yeah.
Chris Versteeg whacked the stick right out of Gardner's hands. And that will lead to a Toronto power play.
Well, the dominance at home as of late. The Sharks have the longest winning streak at home. How about the goaltending of Corey Crawford and Antti Raanta, and also Scott Darling, who is not a part of that winning streak. And there you see the penalty, not a good penalty by Chris Versteeg, the knockout of the stick out of the hands of the best Toronto Maple Leaf tonight, Pat. I think we both would agree, Jake Gardner. I guess that's one way to keep him away from touching the puck, but you don't want that because now you give the Maple Leafs, who can certainly move the puck around on a power play, a huge opportunity to get back in this game down by 2 in the third.
We've had 4 power play goals their last 5 games, the Leafs. And Phaneuf walks to the middle. Phaneuf goes to the other side. Here's a long shot and a save by Raanta through a Van Riemsdyk screen. Rebound Keith, cleared it to Smith. Good play to Hjalmarsson. He got it out. And really a couple of real sharp, crisp, and accurate passes for the Hawks deep in their own end right there, allowing what turned into an easy clear. But if any of those passes isn't sharp, you got a problem. And there's a pass right for Toews. But he got checked, still able to get it out against Phaneuf. Leafs get back in. Kessel rings it around. Franz's long wrister is blocked in front by Hjalmarsson. Stolen back by the Leafs. A quick shot. Shot wide by Kessel, who had a great setup from Bozak, but missed. Now Franzen. Phaneuf. Kessel. Rink wide, hit the skate of Franzen, bounced loose. Hossa got it to Toews. They're at the end of a shift. They really wanted to get down there offensively, but made the wise decision, and with a 2-goal lead, get some fresh legs out there with 40 left in the man advantage for Toronto. Now they get back in. Holland looks to center and hit O'Duyan laid loose into the glove of Runta after a whack, I believe, by Clarkson, maybe Lupul. They were both in the neighborhood, and Runta able to make the snare.
Quick little play right to the crease area, and you're right, Pat. David Clarkson on the backhand. 71 in white right there, and Runta stands his ground, and the Hawks will take a whistle to the right of their goaltender.
Smith pulled the draw back, but Seabrook's clear is held in. Riley to Gardner, one-timer. Save Runta, and with Clarkson and a loose stick right there. No rebound.
Failed clear, create a chance. See the Hawks in their rotation. If there's any rebound, it's a 2-on-1 in front of the net with Clarkson and Seabrook. With Lupul off to the side, but Runta does what he needs to do and absorb that. Nice set face-off play there by the Hawks. Win the draw, little drop down there, and clear it down and kill off another 20 seconds or so.
The Leafs get back into the zone, and a turnover there by Kadri. Then he got back shooting, just missed the far post. Held in Riley. Hawks penalty over, both teams full strength, but Hjalmarsson steal. And his clearing attempt held in. Riley. Taken away by Versteeg, who bats it back into Leaf ice. Kadri in for Lupul, offside, and a penalty. Coming up against the Leafs, an interference at the blue line. Lee yielding some open ice for Kadri, who's ready to shoot, but a Clarkson interference call will now send the Hawks to the power play.
Yeah, right across the blue line. Looked like the Leafs had something going, and the Hawks were in the middle of a change there, Pat, and the Hawks catch a break with Clarkson with that interference call all across the blue line.
Now Kane on the power play for Seabrook. Brent Seabrook now to Taves. They get Sharp to the front of the net here. Taves stepped on a stick, went down, but put it back to Seabrook. He waits, he wires, little save, rebound, they score! Patrick Kane found the loose puck on the rebound and will pick up his third point of the night. 3-0.
Well, the heavy shot of Brent Seabrook. Fakes the shot, rebound, net front presence from Sharp, and then Patrick Kane, patience off the side. Sharp should get an assist on that, Pat. I think it went off of him, the initial shot from Seabrook. Watch the left part of your screen here. Watch Kane pull it, hold it, and then just put it into the wide open net. But great net front presence from Patrick Sharp. And, you know, Brent Seabrook last night, Pat, I think we mentioned it, but should mention again here tonight. Like, last night was as good as a game I've seen Brent Seabrook play last night defensively in a long, long time. Like, he was outstanding. Looks like Winnick is down a little bit there, but Brent Seabrook gets a primary assist on that Patrick Kane power play goal.
Now Pickle fires ahead to Carcillo. Gonna get the line, dropping Roosevelt. Oh, the wrist shot goes right through the goal mouth. To Carcillo. He lost it. And the rush broken up nicely by Carcillo, looking for Bickle. It'll allow the Hawks to complete a player change while they keep control of it. And then O'Duyan sends it in. Loose in front for Versteeg. Tried to go goalmouth back to Kane. That didn't get through. And then Panik back up for Toronto. For Lupul. He centered one. It's kicked away by Runta before it got through to Holland. Back it goes to the line. Holzer's long shot. Save on a rebound. Taken by Lupul. Dropped it back, a try Riley, and a stand-up stop by Raanta. Well, the Leafs with a good sequence here. A clearing attempt is held in Holzer. O'Duya got it back with a hoister to get it out of the Chicago end finally. And now it's Holzer for Toronto. Seabrook steals. Now he will look up the boards and bounce it back into Leafs territory. Toews chasing in, got away from Holzer, cut to the net, shooting, he scored! Jonathan Toews just out-racing the Leaf D to get to the loose puck. He really wanted to pass, saw his best option was to shoot it, and it's 4-0.
Well, just get the puck into the middle of the ice, and from our Honda Gold replay, Toews caught Jake Gardiner going one way and then having to retreat and come back the other way. He had the head of steam. As you mentioned, Pat wanted to pass, but best option, never a bad play to get the puck towards the net. And the captain gives the Hawks a 4-goal lead here in the third.
Well, now it's dumped into the Hawk zone. Bozak grabbed by O'Duya. Game loose Kessel. Goes down low. Here's a wraparound. That's stopped by Raanta. Rebound for the Leafs. Kessel sends it in behind. Got it back from Van Riemsdyk. Phaneuf whiffed on a one-timer. And Smith puts it back the other way. Taken by Kessel. And then Phaneuf. Here's Carcillo. His pass picked off by Franzen. And now Van Riemsdyk steps into the zone and into the middle. His shot deflected wide. Lupul taken away by Shaw. Rundblad coming out. Joffrey Lupul will shoot it into Chicago ice. Here comes Sharp trying to get away from his check. It'll be offside. Lustig preceded the puck over the goal line, or the blue line. After a power play strike from Kane, the captain has one of his own for number 13.
Well, Blackhawk fans, you want to be tonight's Buddig Lunch Meats featured fan or family of the game, just like Abby, Lucas, Landon, Joel, Natalie, and Caleb with, hey, Mr. Claus, all right. Tweet us a family-themed picture with a hashtag HawkFan photo, and you might be featured on air. Moving forward, Buddig Lunch Meats make more than a sandwich.
All right, Keith getting back. Taken away from him, but the pass goes right to Sharp. And then Kane. And it jumped loose for Stieg, picked it up. Franzen then checked. And Phaneuf for Toronto. Stepanek, who cleared it to center. Howland crisscrossing into the zone. In deep it goes, and Keith is there. Now Versteeg will put it back into Toronto ice. Hawks completing a change. Just over the boards is Bickle. He got checked right away. Gardner able to fend off some pressure and clear it to center ice. Smith chipped it in. Taken away by Shaw to Carcillo, and he cleared it ahead. Here's Bickle trying to chase it down. He pulls up through it in front. Shaw had the puck a little bit behind him. And then Gardner's out there without a stick. So Carcillo will take advantage of that. Drop it out to Roosevelt with a long blast. Hit some traffic in front. And Smith put it back into Chicago ice. Now Bickle. Dump it in. 5 minutes remaining. A 4-0 Blackhawks lead. Looking for their 11th win in their last 13 starts. And it would be 14 wins in 17 starts for the Blackhawks. So,
Incredible run.
whoa.
And it all starts with the guys in goal, without a doubt.
Riley in, Kadri shot it, never got through Keith. Now the Leafs, Kadri, his pass smothered, and back comes Joakim Nordstrom. He got hit hard along the boards, but played it in behind, and Phaneuf would take out a run all the way across the ice and try to get Nordstrom. Mostly missed him. He got the worst of it, tumbling into the boards awkwardly.
Well, that's usually what happens when you run around like that and pick on a fourth line winger.
When you're down 3-0, 4 minutes to go.
Yeah.
4-0, excuse me, with 4 minutes to go. Here's Smith with a turnaround shot. Good save. Reimer with the right shoulder. Rebound. Nordstrom took a whack in behind Kruger. It's picked up by Santorelli. Patrick Sharp has 3 assists in the game tonight. Ran out of room here, and now the Leafs will dump it back in. Kane sails it back into the neutral area. Here comes Phil Kessel. Kessel dropped it. Riley broke his stick on the shot attempt. Now he's got to try to defend without a cue, and Kane's going to pick up the puck. Kane in front. Here's Versteeg waiting. He put it across. Seabrook a drive. Big save by Reimer, as that was a 3-way unselfish play by the Hawks. A couple of guys could have had a chance to shoot the puck, but it wound up with Seabrook denied.
Well, the 2015 Chicago Blackhawks custom Camaro convertible can be yours. It's one of a kind. You can't win it if you don't enter. So register today at ChevyDrivesChicago.com. Take your best shot and drive what Kane and Taves drive. Driving to a 4-0 win right now. That's all I know.
Yep. For the Leafs, who we told you after getting, Eddie mentioned the game that a lot of people seemed to spur this real good run they had of 10-1-1. They got smoked 9-2 at home by Nashville, but the game before that, they were smoked 6-2 in Buffalo, which at the time was the worst team in the league. And those back-to-back set of games, they had people in Toronto wondering, hey, are we going to get the first draft pick? So something of a wake-up call, I guess, was delivered, and the Leafs turned their fortunes around. But now, Polak's long wrister goes wide. Rebound back in front off the leg of Roosevelt. Now they would have lost 3 in a row. Oh, the redirect just missed from Lupul. They would have lost 3 in a row and 15 goals against in these last 3 straight defeats. So all of a sudden, some of the same questions Randy Carlyle was hearing early in the year when they were really struggling. I'll have to answer some of those here in the next day or two with The puck finding the net with regularity in the Toronto defensive zone. And I mean, the Leafs came in here. There are only 6 teams in the league worse than them in the team goals against. They came in at 291, their team goals against. The Blackhawks, conversely, best in the NHL at 197 coming in. And there are 92 seconds left in this game.
We talked a lot about it. We just saw Raanta. There's a good look at Corey Crawford. Mentioned Scott Darling earlier, Pat, and reiterate myself, as I mentioned a couple of games ago, where looking back at the 30-plus games this team has played and rehashing all the goals that have been given up by the goaltender or by the team. Pat, I mean, I mentioned 3 the other day, and I was hard-pressed to say that the goaltenders have given up 3 soft goals or bad goals, or, we know the difference. I mean, and we're going to call a spade, but when you think about it, I mean, that was really, really hard to pick out three bad goals in 34, 35 games.
That is an absolutely remarkable statement to make. This is the 34th game of the year for the Chicago Blackhawks. I can tell you, at least half of the coaches in the NHL would say if you can go through a week without 3 bad goals, they'd be happy.
You're right. The penalty kill has been outstanding, and the team defense has been right there, but I don't think there's any doubt it starts with the guys in goal. And you play with a confidence, Pat, when your goaltenders are doing the job, because if you can play on your toes, take a chance every once in a while, the goaltender's got your back.
This puck is cleared. We get down to 20 remaining. And now they're on their feet on West Madison Street as the Blackhawks finish off a 4-0 victory over the Toronto Maple Leafs to even up the regular season series. As the clock winds down, Hawks win. Antti Raanta has played 8 games this year. He's got 2 shutouts, and he's got 3 in his career. And Troy Parchment, the head equipment manager, look at that. What a very emotional night here in the United Center. He's got the CR patch on, and the Blackhawks will congratulate one another after a game in which I thought at the start, I think you did too, partner, I don't know that they've ever played a tougher one.
Yeah, the heart was in the right place, but the legs and the mind were not. And for that training staff, and as Joel Quenneville talked about it in the pregame presser, the tightness and the respect of the fraternity of the training staffs in the
National Hockey League. And look at this, Eddie. Look at, they're going to hug each other. Watch this. They're huddling up. That's a Clint Rife huddle right there. And a salute to him and the Blackhawks fans, but it's hard to overstate how big a part of the team that he was and the impact that he's had on that Blackhawks locker room for many, many years gone by. That is a huge and a tragic loss for the entire Blackhawks organization.
As Clint would always say to us, Pat, on the bus, order the rings. And that one's for Clint.
That is all for Clint. There's no question about it. And that was one of his favorite sayings coming on the bus after a road game. All right, here are the 3 stars.